Everybody, this is Candace, and today I'd like to talk to you guys a little more about grief. In my last video, I talked about grief being a natural response or reaction to a loss, and anything that we consider to be familiar or valuable or important to us can be grieved. I also talked about grief being an individual expression or experience, and we all don't grieve the same, and that's okay. I talked about some of the symptoms that you might experience when you're grieving, as well as some warning signs for unhealthy grief. There's a lot more in the video, so if you hadn't checked it out, it might be something good for you to check out, especially if you're wanting to understand grief a little more. Today, though, I want to talk to you guys about two different types of grievers, the intuitive griever and the instrumental griever. And I also want to give you some tools that can be helpful through your grieving process. So let's start off with the intuitive griever. The intuitive griever is one who focuses more on their feelings than anything else concerning the loss. They're really emotional, so there's a lot of crying, a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling. The emotions that they have are overwhelming and very intense. And because they use up so much of their energy through expressing these emotions, their energy levels are really low. They also find themselves talking a lot about their grief, talking a lot about their loss and their feelings. So what can be helpful for an intuitive griever? To be able to share their feelings, share their emotions, share their thoughts, share whatever it is that they feel like they want to share in a safe environment where there's no judgment or criticism. This can be in therapy, it can be with a trusted friend, it can be through support groups, it could be through grieving workbooks or even writing exercises. The writing exercises can be letters to yourself, letters to the lost thing or the loved one, just whatever it is that you need to write down to express what you're feeling so that you can get it up and out. Also, writing songs, writing poetry, these things can be helpful as well. Now for the instrumental griever. The instrumental griever is a lot less emotional. They focus more on their thoughts and their actions more than those emotions. In fact, they don't want to talk about their grief. They don't want to talk about their loss. They don't want to share with other people. They're really less likely to reach out for help, even if they need it. They're more about problem solving. They want to know the whats and the whys of the loss. They're about action. They don't want to sit in the emotions and the grief. They want to be doing something. And because they don't exert so much energy in their emotions, their energy levels are a little higher. So what can be helpful for an instrumental griever? To do something, to actively respond to their grief. That can be through tributes, it can be through memorials, anything to honor the person or the thing that they've lost. They also like to problem solve, right? So problem solving to find out what is the cause of the loss in order to prevent it from happening again if they can. Also, being artistic, drawing, writing, poetry, music. All of these different things can be helpful because, again, it's about action. It's about doing something. Fundraising can be helpful if there's a cause that's related to the loss. Therapy can be helpful as well for them, but they're, again, less likely to reach out for that help. Also, it's good to know that studies have shown that intuitive grievers are usually considered to be female, and the instrumental grievers are usually male. Now, this does not have to put you in a box. You can be either or, you can be a blend of both. But the good thing to know about this is that different people grieve in different ways. And if you have a partner who's one or the other and you're one or the other, sometimes it brings about conflict because you don't grieve the same. In this situation, you might have one partner saying you grieve too much and the other one saying you don't grieve enough. But if you have information about how people grieve, you can be more compassionate through the process. And that can be helpful, really helpful in families and in partnerships and with couples. So I hope these things that I've given you have been helpful. But I also want to add, the same way that I did in the last video, is that grief is not always related to a death of a loved one. It can be the loss of a job, it can be the loss of a relationship, it can be with divorce, it could be our loss of normalcy. That's what we're actually going through right now. So be compassionate to yourself. Show yourself that self-compassion. Show other people compassion. Because again, we don't all grieve the same way, and that's okay. So love on yourselves and love on others. And until next time, this is Candace. Have a great day. Bye-bye.